Okay, so today I want to go over the top 5 fitness myths and misconceptions. Let's get into it. So, also, these are in no particular order. This is literally just how I feel like talking about them. So, the first one is that you can spot reduce fat. Now, let me tell you, if you could spot reduce fat, everyone in the world would look different. Everything would be so different. Because it would be so much easier to get abs if you could just spot reduce the fat and be like, I want this to go away. But that's just not how it works. The way it actually works is that when you work out, your body just overall takes away, I feel like the easiest way to explain it is it gets rid of a little bit of fat from everywhere, right? And then over time, your body fat percentage, which is the overall total amount of body fat you have, decreases. So one of the reasons that it might be hard for you to get rid of some fat somewhere specifically, or for a lot of people, it's in their stomach area, is just because you have more fat stores there. It's literally it. I know for me, a lot of my fat stores are actually in my calves. Kind of weird. But and no matter how lean I've ever been, my calves always look the exact same size. Nothing changes. And even when I'm flexing, I can feel that there's a big layer over the muscle. So that's just to say, a lot of it has to do with where your fat stores are. Everyone stores them in different spots. That's literally just a genetics thing, and it is what it is. You can't really change that. But in terms of spot reducing fat, that is not something you can do. But what I will say is, based on a technicality, because I feel like the most common one is doing core exercises, and this actually goes into another one of the misconceptions. It's that doing core will get you abs. So yes and no. Doing a core workout and strengthening your core will build the muscles there, which is one of the things you need to do to have a visible six-pack. But there's other steps. You also have to be lean enough. You have to be at a low enough body fat percentage to just have your abs be seen at all. You can have the strongest core in the world, but if you're 20% body fat, no one is gonna see it. It's just not possible. Your body is not lean enough to show that muscle. So, with that said, technically though, if you are doing a core workout, you are burning calories, which is taking steps, very tiny steps, but some of the steps to getting abs that are visible. Because at some point, you do need to burn calories, and if you were doing no exercise and now you're doing some core exercises, you are making more progress than you were before to having visible abs. So I don't want to tell you, obviously you should do core workouts, you should train your abs, but don't expect that to get you abs that are visible. The other thing is, as I said, you need to lower your body fat percentage. That's why a lot of people in the fitness community will say, abs are not made in the gym, they're made in the kitchen. Which genuinely, it's true in a sense. I'd say it's probably 80-20, maybe 70-30, where 70% of getting abs is just having a good diet where you're eating a low enough amount of calories comparatively to your maintenance, or you're eating that deficit so that you can actually get visible abs. But those are the first two tips. And then going back to what I was just saying though, the other 30% is actually just training your abs. Because if you do get thicker abs, you train them like any other muscle and they get bigger, it's obviously going to be easier for your abs to visibly show. So those are the first two tips. That kind of sounded like one, but that was actually two tips. Because I have them written down as spot reducing fat and core to get abs. So those are the two first tips. The next one is that sweating means you had a good workout. I don't know where this started from. It was probably just people not understanding what sweating actually is. So sweating is just a mechanism your body has to cool down. That is it. It is nothing more or less than that. It's just to help you cool down. So all that means, if you sweat a lot during a workout, it just means your body was hot, which in some sense means you increase your body temperature, you increase your heart rate, and you probably were exercising, but that doesn't mean it was a great workout. Because here's a really good example. So let's say you walk 2 miles down in your neighborhood, wherever you live, in the city, whatever it is. Let's say it's New York City. Let's say you walk 2 miles in New York City, but the first time it's in December and it's like 40 degrees out. And the second time it's in July and it's 100 degrees out. You're gonna sweat a lot more when you walk that 2 miles in July. You might not sweat at all when it's 40 degrees out in winter. But that doesn't mean you worked out harder. Like, you did the exact same thing. The conditions around you changed. So like another good example of this would be, let's say you normally train at one gym and they keep that gym really cold. But then you go to train in a warmer gym. You're gonna sweat more in the warmer gym. But that doesn't mean that you actually have a better workout. So obviously, there is something in a sense of like, if you didn't sweat it, like personally, I don't really sweat when I train, just lifting. If I do cardio, I start sweating. But sweating in itself doesn't mean you had a good workout. It's kind of like the doing core exercises to get abs, where like, technically, yes, there is some amount of that is necessary. Like, you should probably sweat a little bit while you're working out. But like, just because you see, if one person's like barely sweating and the other person's drenched in sweat, it doesn't mean that one had a better workout, the other one had a worse workout. It realistically just means the person who's sweating way more probably did something that increased their body temperature more, so their body was starting to cool down. That's really all it was. The next one that I want to get into is that cardio is the best way to lose fat. And I was trying to figure out, I was kind of curious, where did some of these come from, right? Like, what pathway did people start thinking about these to get to this? And I think this one might have actually came from bodybuilding. I'm also this is fully just me off the cuff, making this up, so I could be completely wrong. But if it's cardio to lose fat, I wonder if that came from bodybuilding, because bodybuilders increase their cardio before a show to try and cut more body fat, because that's what they're trying to do there, right? But the difference is they're also eating very minimal calories already, and they're training hard all the time. So the cardio is supplemental on top. So cardio in itself is not the best way to lose fat. The best way, in my opinion, would be to be resistance training with some cardio in there, probably getting 150 minutes a week. I believe that's the recommended amount. But resistance training and having your diet right, which would be high protein and in a deficit. Because what that all together is going to do, resistance training is so helpful for losing fat, because one, muscle burns more calories than fat does while it's just sitting on your body. Your body requires more energy to maintain muscle than it does to maintain fat. So just having more muscle, in essence, means that your body is going to have a higher level of maintenance calories, which in essence will be easier for you to cut and lose fat. So if you can put on more muscle by resistance training, eating a high protein diet, you're going to have more muscle in your body. And then that muscle, as I just said, is going to burn more calories than the fat that you either previously had or could have instead. And that will help you lose weight. Also, while you're resistance training, I just talked about putting on muscle. You're also just moving and exercising a lot while resistance training, so that will also help. And then doing cardio at the end of your workout and just doing it as supplemental ways to lose weight, that is 100% going to be effective. But cardio is not some end all be all, by far the best way to lose weight. There are studies showing that resistance training and I believe it's just resistance training is in certain studies is literally just better than cardio for losing weight. So not to say cardio is bad. I do cardio, especially when I'm trying to lose weight. I'll hop on the Stairmaster, probably do 20 minutes a day, or sometimes more, sometimes I'll run, walk, whatever it is. And I'm going to do cardio, I'm trying to lose weight, but that should not be the only thing you're doing. There's other things that will be just as effective or more effective. So the last one, sorry to any guys who are watching this, probably isn't going to apply to you. This is typically more something you'll hear girls say, but is that lifting makes you bulky. This one is so annoying. I feel like it's just an excuse half the time. I get that these people probably are afraid of getting too bulky, But like, go ask any girl who works out consistently if they got too bulky. These girls that are afraid of getting too bulky will look at these other girls that work out all the time, say that they look good and they want to look like them, but then won't lift like them because they're afraid of getting too bulky. Like, if person A lifted like this and you think they look good and you want to look like them and they lifted like this to get like that, why would you not lift like it literally doesn't add up. And I feel like the girls that people see that are too bulky for them, that or look too manly, whatever it is, those are girls that a lot of times are competing as professional bodybuilders and are also like taking other things, taking some steroids possibly, taking whatever it is, but taking things that you're not going to take. So you're not going to get too bulky if you start lifting. If anything, you're going to get that more toned look, which I hate that word toned, but you're going to get that more toned look that you actually are looking for. Like, what you're afraid of doing, resistance training, is actually what gets you that toned look that you're looking for. And it doesn't get you that bulky look that you're afraid of, that you think resistance training is going to get you. Like, it is just such a bad misconception. And genuinely, like, I wish girls that don't lift, understood how difficult it is to put on muscle. Like, it is not an easy thing to do. I feel like they think they're just gonna like go lift 2 times, eat like 3 pieces of chicken in that 2-day span, and they're just gonna be looking like She-Hulk. Like, no, it's not that easy. There's a lot of girls in bodybuilding that wish it was that easy, but it is not. Like, it is a difficult thing to put on muscle. Even just like the muscle that I've put on, it's taken years. Like, it is not, and I'm not even that big. It is not going to be that easy to put on muscle. And that one definitely does, you notice that last one, lifting is going to make you bulky. Like, it is just the worst thing. Because it's just so healthy for you. Like, everyone should do it. So those are the top 5 fitness misconceptions. I will say there's probably other misconceptions that are like bigger or whatever, but these were just the 5 that came to mind for me. If you know anyone who thinks any of these, please send them this video, or please just share this video in general to let people know that all of these are stupid and not real. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next Sunday at 5 p.m. Catch you there.